Greetings and salutations. I'm going to be pulling some cards for Tarot Tuesday. Definitely setting the intention for clarity, peace of mind for myself, for the collective. It's been an emotional morning, to say the least. Just moving through a lot. I probably won't post this one, but I'm gonna record it anyways to give myself that choice. Just calling in peace of mind, peace of heart, within the soul, within my body, calling in greater clarity, and just hoping that the message that comes through is one that we can all resonate with. Whew. I've been on a cannabis break. It's been about a week now, and I find that whenever I do take breaks from cannabis, a lot of different emotions come up and come through. I can also be like a lot more irritable within the process of, my body just detoxing, because I was smoking a lot, and it was definitely time for a break. I think in these moments, the part that is the hardest is that as much as I know that there's so many people I can call and talk to, so many people that are here to support me, I just kind of get frozen, and I don't reach out, and I don't ask for help. And then I just sit, in these spaces, just feeling more and more isolated and alone. But I know that spirit is here, always around. But sometimes just real human interaction, is what's desired. But yes, let us just breathe, and let's see what comes through. Yeah. Calling in message in the greatest and highest good of all. It's one. That was the King of Swords that came out. Another one. I don't know, I feel like maybe one. 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. Is it 3? Is that the one in Schoolhouse Rock? Is 3 the one that's the magic number? Oop, oop. Let's see. I know that so many people are moving through it right now, and my problems probably pale in comparison. But it's not like a comparative thing, we're all experiencing struggle, and how we respond to it is, depending on our own personal experience and perceptions. One more. Alright, so let's see what we got. So we have the King of Swords, Temperance, and Six of Cups. And this one, it has like nostalgia, but also like companionship, friendship. Even though it's a man and his dog, a boy and his pup, still kind of bringing in that intemperance, balance, balancing of that light and that dark, recognizing that it's something that we all have within us. We all carry, both, every human being. King of Swords. It's kind of a feel of ease and confidence and preparedness for what's to come. Let's see what they say. King of Swords. Light seer, intelligence, logic, rules and law, clear thinking, a strong communicator and leader, truth and proof, blending mental and spiritual pursuits, bravery and courage. And then the shadow seer, manipulation and conceit, showing off your intelligence, can indicate a rigidness in thinking, tendencies to over control, irrationality, being cold and calculating. Intelligent and diplomatic, this king leads with facts, rationale, scientific principles, and the logical mind. He has an affinity for rules and thought, and he suggests finding impartial clarity before you take your next step. Even though he always seeks data and proof, he also knows that blending experience with inventiveness or blending intelligence with emotional and spiritual energies allows for well-rounded success. Be courageous in the pursuit of your path and find your own methodical, confident authority by knowing the way rather than just feeling the way. In shadow, this card can suggest using knowledge to take advantage of others. With truthful communication, it's time to help others in a way that's honest rather than manipulative. Find wisdom in your experience and seek to become the success engineer of your life. With confident, clear thinking, you will find your success. I make intelligent and wise decisions about my future. And it's interesting that, the message of this card, because even before, it's just this feeling that sometimes sometimes you have that feeling that you can't trust the thoughts that are coming through or the decisions that you're making, and this idea of, be courageous in the pursuit of your path and find your own methodical, confident authority by knowing the way rather than just feeling the way. I guess it's I don't know, there's kind of for me, like a confusion with that, you know, because my knowing comes from that inner feeling. But I think sometimes there's that distrust with, you know, what might be felt, you know. And I think especially like in lower moments, you know, I guess I don't know what it is I'm trying to say. I know that definitely when it comes to communication, that's something that I have to, or that I want to, or that I am working on, you know, being more open and honest about the things that I'm feeling, the things that I want. I tend to, I think, worry a lot about how people will receive the things that I say or the things that I do, so then I'll, you know, kind of hold back on certain things, not wanting to elicit any kind of response or reaction. But I've been in this space of, you know, trying to trust more, allowing myself to express, you know, fully and honestly, openly, allowing myself to be vulnerable and recognizing the strength that is within that. And then also recognizing, you know, all the subconscious ways of communicating or expressing that, you know, maybe it might be harmful, you know, and recognizing that there are, you know, it's not just about being able to express openly and fully, but also, you know, the how of that expression, and ensuring that, you know, there's mindfulness within that. I make intelligent and wise decisions about my future. Light seer, alchemy, blending energies, harmony, moderation, masculine and feminine balance, duality and amalgamation, the fluidity of time, meditation, the perpetual motion of life, neutrality, restraint, patience, purpose. And then the shadow seer, clashing interests, oil and water, extremes, disharmony. I need to practice moderation in some aspects of your life, severity, polarity, impatience. Temperance is the alchemist of life, and it calls you to create your purposeful blend using moderation and patience as ingredients. Where are you focusing your precious energy right now? Maybe you've been overdoing it in your social life, or binging on television, drinks, or food, or overspending, focusing on a relationship that is depleting more energy than it is replenishing. Being wholly materialistic versus wholly spiritual. We live in a world of extreme passions and heated hustle. We live in a world of extreme passions and heated hustle. So slowing down the desire for excess in any one area of your life may be harder than you think. Don't do drastic right now. Stay away from all or nothing choices. Clearing your energy of extremes will foster a dynamic, nourishing flow that's aligned with your perfect alchemical purpose. Seek equilibrium and be mindful of your resources while fusing all the elements to achieve a beautiful balance. I walk the middle path and I nourish my spiritual wholeness. And I think yesterday with Oracle Monday, one of the things that came through for me is just that idea of, you know, owning that I don't necessarily have the capacity to hold space you know, even though there is that deep desire to hold space. It's just kind of owning that capacity might not be there, and honoring that and knowing that that's okay. You know, it's okay that I might not have that energy. So recognizing, you know, all the places that my energy might be going towards, even if it's just, because even in thought, you know, even if it's not in physical action, sometimes that, you know, our thoughts sometimes take energy as well. And when we are perseverating or, you know, kind of like overanalyzing or, you know, hyper focusing on certain things, like that can take energy as well. You know, our thoughts can become reality. And yeah, just allowing for you know, myself to just like sit with what it is that I'm feeling, what's coming up for me, allowing myself to really like understand what's coming up and what it means. And you know, I think with the break from cannabis, it's kind of helping with that. You know, I feel like, you know, sometimes with the cannabis, it can be a great medicine. It's a beautiful medicine to work with, but I was definitely abusing that. You know, it was becoming more addictive than beneficial, you know. And it's allowing myself to recognize that, you know, and recognize how in many ways I was using it to dull out things that were being felt, you know, whether consciously or subconsciously, you know. And I think within my cannabis use, it was definitely an over excusing of, you know, my heavy use. I don't remember where I was going with that, but yeah, clearing your energy of extremes will foster a dynamic, nourishing flow that is aligned with your perfect alchemical purpose. Yeah. You know, like recognizing that where it is I want to go, the destination that I am moving towards, in order to get there, it takes being present in the now and honoring what the now is telling me, you know, honoring what's being felt right now, to be able to build and sustain the capacity for the future. And then the last one, 6 of Cups. Lightseer, nostalgia, reconnecting with people from the past, harmony, themes of your life, inner child, and future self. Shadow seer, being stuck in the past, lamenting decisions and actions, a need to forgive others, a reminder to forgive yourself, letting people in, and need to deal with regret. Yeah. You may be experiencing nostalgia or feeling triggered by old memories. Yeah, I was actually just in Jamaica recently for this past weekend actually, for my grandfather's funeral, and just being at the house, just remembering being there as a kid, you know, brought up a lot of positive, like good, you know, feelings and emotions. But yeah, you may be experiencing nostalgia or feeling triggered by old memories. It's time to forgive yourself by releasing any residual guilt that you still carry from past relationships, trauma, or previous actions. Accept your humanness and stop lamenting the decisions that you've made up until now. Memories are a profound tool for processing lessons and healing. Who you were can highlight how far you've come, and that growth can shine beauty on where you are headed next. Time is a beautiful thing. Contemplate the needs of your inner child or listen to advice from your future self. Sometimes this card is a literal message that someone from your past is going to re-enter your life, or that it's the perfect moment to reconnect with old kindreds and to reminisce. When we connect with all the moments on our timeline, we truly find our wholeness. I am at peace with my past. It has brought me to where I'm meant to be. Yeah, I'm definitely at peace with my past, and I do trust that everything that has, happened before this moment has happened with a purpose, regardless of all the heavy feelings that might come around that. But yeah. One second. I don't remember where I was. There was someone coming up to talk to me, so I paused for a bit. But yeah, I think one thing with this card, the Six of Cups, the idea of reconnecting, with people from the past. I don't necessarily see it as like digging way back in the past and reconnecting with whatever, but there's a lot of friends that I've been wanting to reconnect with, and I've talked about that at length, I think, over the last couple months or a few weeks. I don't remember how long it's been, but I've been talking a lot about wanting to reconnect with people, and allowing myself to be more open and honest and vulnerable about where I'm at, and how I'm feeling and what I'm moving through, and not hiding, so much. And it's so funny because the person that just came up just now is one of the park rangers, maybe. And every now and then, he'll come by and we'll greet or whatever. And it's just, I'm hearing this. I was a few minutes away from before, where I was crying and moving through a lot, and the question is hey, how's it going, how are you doing? And it's oh, I'm good, everything is fine. And it's just seeing it happen in real time, and just recognizing that that's something that I know a lot of people, I think that we've been kind of socialized and conditioned to just kind of not say things that are going to make people feel uncomfortable, because if I was to say man, I was just crying a few minutes ago, it's really heavy, it's a lot, it's I don't know him, we don't have that kind of rapport where but that would have been honest, but to avoid that discomfort or that uncomfortable exchange, it's just yeah, no, I'm great, everything's fine, and it's just recognizing how often I do that, and not just with people that I don't really know, but also with people that I hold in high regard, people that I'm close to, people that I want to, develop and grow relationships with, within my family, within friendships, even within my partnership, so it's yeah, it's just kind of allowing myself to sit with all of it, and to really own it all, yeah. Believe with that I am complete. If you are moving through some heaviness yourself, you're moving through some depression, social anxiety, just overwhelm, and then there's a lot of moments where I don't even know what it is that I'm feeling, or I can't put words to it. It's just an overwhelming sense of heaviness, you know. It's a feeling of grief, of just deep sadness, you know. And just knowing that that's okay, you know. It's not a bad feeling, you know. It's uncomfortable. Of course, I would prefer to feel jovial and light. I'd prefer to feel like I had the capacity to, you know, sit and hold space. I'd like to feel like that clarity of direction forward is there. I know exactly the steps to take to move forward. And I know that there is no like specific destination that I'm heading towards, right? It's the journey. And sometimes that goal, that destination that I have in my mind, that is just to get that motion and that movement forward. And the destination is gonna evolve and grow and shift and change, you know, as I am moving forward. So I'm not attached to any specific outcome, you know. But I have been feeling just really stuck lately, you know, and grappling with that and giving myself grace within that has been a bit difficult, you know. And I wish I could just reach out and let people know that. And I know I can. You know, it's simple. It's so simple. But it feels so difficult. You know? It feels really difficult. Even though I know it's not. It's not hard at all. And it's a lot of, you know, my own stories that I've created in my mind and conditioning that has, you know, taken place. I think I've rambled on long enough. So with that, I believe I am complete. Sending so much love.